This pattern is called a flower, not just because it looks like a flower.
Why do you look so sad? And can I replace my blood with whatever's doing it? Because damn, that's hilarious. Also, I have some terrible news for you. Because, no, that's not what flowers look like. I mean, seriously, have you ever seen any flowers that look even vaguely like that? Because if I did, I would assume it was some kind of mutant freak flower and burn it down.
But because it represents the cycle of a fruit tree.
Pretty sure it doesn't. At least not in a, useful way. I mean, a circle is exactly how you describe literally every cycle ever, pretty much. Unless, of course, you mean something way dumber when... Oh god, he definitely means something way dumber.
A fruit tree makes a little flower, which then goes through metamorphosis and becomes a fruit.
What fucking fruit is that supposed to be? Seriously, you start with a flower that looks nothing like any flower anyone on earth has ever heard of, and then you have a fruit that is basically just pixel art. I mean, it looks more like the genetic structure of a disease than any kind of food you should be intentionally inserting into your body. God damn. What's next? A tree that doesn't look like a fucking tree?
Within that fruit contains a seed, which falls to the ground and grows into another tree.
Well, obviously. Why isn't the seed just a circle? I mean, it's the smallest one, and yet it's apparently more complex than the fucking fruit. And that tree, as you're seeming to call it. Well, this whole thing is supposed to be, look at all these vague shapes that I am saying represent X, Y, Z things, and it doesn't even match up to your stupid-ass flower of lies. I mean, life. Look at that. Even in your own shit, you are pulling yet more nonsense out of your ass. Come on, it's one thing talking total gibberish, but it's so much worse when it doesn't even fit into the thing that you're making up.
The cyclical nature of reality is seen as the flower, fruit, seed, and tree.
Is reality cyclical? I don't know about that. We actually have no idea if reality, as in the entirety of everything, is a cycle, or if it's a good old straight line leading to delicious perfect entropy. I suppose it could be. However, the problem comes when you talk like you know it is. That's when I'm call you out as a bellend for saying things you couldn't possibly know.
Which is a pattern created within and through this very geometry.
No, it's not, because again, that is not the same thing as that. These two things are not even particularly similar to each other. They are, in fact, different. Also, this simplistic BS shape that no one, whose opinion is worth a damn, takes seriously in any sense, does not reflect any form of reality.
We can relate this with many ancient wisdom teachings that already exist in more prominence on this planet.
Every time with the ancient wisdom teachings. What is it about woo peddlers and their complete obsession with all things that people who didn't know anything about anything said and believed bloody ages ago? Ancient wisdom is more accurately termed ancient goddamn nonsense because it's almost never wise and more likely just kind of dumb. People have worked very hard to come up with actual answers to things. But I guess the problem for you and yours is that you have to actually know and understand things that make sense. Can't have that, can we?
For example, we can see it in Christianity and the Hermetic teachings, which spoke on the Word of God.
Prominent. I mean, yes to Christianity, but the f*** is Hermetic shit when it's at home? Seriously, here's a list of religions practiced worldwide, and for some reason, it's not on there. You know, if I was a more skeptical motherfucker, I might think you were lumping shit no one believes with the most popular religion in the world in order to, I don't know, when you bring it up later, make people think that anyone follows this shit. But spoilers, they don't, and haven't for a really long fucking time if they ever did.
The flower of life is known as the source of all language, the primordial root of all vibration, which stems from pure beingness.
Wait. Are you telling me that the flower of life is a Christian thing? Because I'm pretty sure it's not. At least not explicitly. Because, of course, as I have said, simple shape is simple. So I'm sure it turns up in some places that are related to Christianity. And, you know, the Bible boys did have a propensity for stealing pagan symbols, like, a lot. But if that thing is mentioned in the Bible, you know, kind of an important book to Christianity, I will drink my whiskey. because I was going to do it anyway, but increasing my odds of doing so again, even if the chance is infinitesimally small, it's worth it. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure this is just more of you trying to piggyback on a thing people actually take seriously, for some fucking reason, to make your dumb thing sound more reasonable. It's almost like you're kind of dishonest.
We can also see a connection here to the Tao, the word of which translates to the way.
Well, you really need to get out of my way with this mixed spirituality shit. Seriously, if there's one thing I hate, and I mean truly despise about spirituality, is the way you will always just use anything that you like the sound of. I mean, I don't hold any religion or that kind of belief system to be sacred or anything like that. I make fun of them all the time. But even I find the way you will just pick and choose bits of them that you like, as if it's some kind of philosophical buffet, is genuinely disrespectful. As if you just can't see their historical and cultural value and merely see them for what they can do for your bullshit religion and nothing else.
In one of the shortest verses in the Tao Te Ching, it says, the Tao moves through returning. The Tao is used through yielding. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being.
And I wonder how much of that is completely lost in translation here, making it basically meaningless, especially when it is again just being used to bolster some bullshit. I mean, seriously, the hell does that even mean? And it's the 40th verse, so not only that, it's massively out of context with the rest of its meaning. So we, without spending time actually looking it up, which, let's be fair, his audience ain't doing that, so neither are we, can't know what it's actually supposed to mean in its translated and thus inferior form. Isn't that just perfect?
Are you picking up what I'm throwing down?
God, no. I might be wearing gloves all the time, but I can only assume that what you are throwing down is so potent that it'll leak through my gloves, skin, and into my bones, making me forever smell like the shit that is constantly flowing out of your face. And I'll be honest, I don't really want that. Also, if you are going to leave a mess, how about you clear up after yourself? Guys, like a walking natural disaster of shite talking.
The flower of life is a cyclical pattern, part of a greater whole.
It's a whole, is it? It's a great a whole. In fact, it's the greatest a whole. Well, I would argue that I was a bigger a whole, but frankly, I think I would lose that fight, because clearly it does follow, considering you would need the biggest a hole in all the known universe in order to cope with the torrents of shit that you produce on a daily basis.
The wisdom of which is reflected in many traditions the world over.
The wisdom of a bunch of circles. Now, I'm not going to say that drawing a bunch of circles is as to wisdom as hammering nails into my face is to differential calculus, but if I wanted someone to draw me a shitload of meaningless discs, I would not go to the world wizened elder of the parish. I would go to their 3-year-old great-great-grandchild.
In this, we might find an intrinsic unity and use the flower of life to recognize that all belief systems are connected if we are only willing to look and see how.
Of course they're fucking connected, you big blue twat. They were invented by, and I know this will blow your little blue balls right out of your head, by humans. You know, that incredibly invasive species of pest that has literally made it to every corner of the planet. So every single philosophical idea that has ever been gets to start from that simple fact that a human is coming up with them. That's why there are snakes in almost all of them. That's why there are floods in almost all of them. That's why basic things that happen to everyone in some way or another is extremely likely to be a part of a random religion, because humans are effectively all the same basic animal.
Now, to understand the flower of life...
Okay, the animation, it has to be restated, really doesn't make this better. There is just something wrong with the way he, or more likely the person he keeps in his basement to do this for him, does them. Like, I can't stand his videos on the best of days. But the one thing you could say was there was a charm to the previous way his character moved. But this monster, if anyone needs a spooky for their spooky game TM, I implore you to use this fucking thing and everything it says. That would be the most horrifying experience ever. Also, put it into virtual reality. I want to see if someone can actually die from sheer concentrated nope.
We must discuss how it's formed.
Must we? Must we? I can see how it's formed from about 3 miles away using a pair of binocs held fucking backwards. It's a bunch of frickin' circles with a big circle drawn round them. I mean, come on, I'm usually not above explaining how a simple thing works or is done. But this is so fucking simple, I am pretty sure a blind person could figure it out if you simply described it to them. It, and I cannot overstate this, is not some extremely amazing thing that only those with true spirit balls could ever hope to achieve. It's a pattern that people all over the world came up with because of how not fucking hard it is to draw.
Imagine consciousness or spirit floating in the void, which means it's nothingness and then consciousness.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apparently this bunch of fucking circles isn't something a total moron could draw. It's from the goddamn void. And dude, there is no consciousness in nothing. It's nothing, no thing, not no thing except this thing. Nothing is a concept that people struggle with, sure, but only you could be so bad at understanding the concept that you would literally put stuff into it.
Pure awareness. We cannot possibly put an actual drawing on it because it's formless and beyond any image.
What, your self-awareness? Well, I'm glad we can agree on that. Your self-awareness is an entirely hypothetical construct where you would have to stop everything you're doing were you to ever achieve such a state. But seeing as you can't and will never stop, henceforth, its hypothetical nature.
But let's use this Eye of Ra for now.
Why the fuck not? I mean, how many religions have we stolen from so far? We have Crimsbians, Greeks, I think, Taoism from ancient China. Why not chuck the ancient Egyptians on top of that pile as well? I mean, what's next? The feckin' Prince Philip movement? Although, to be completely fair, at least their god is actually real. Or, was.
In this void space, you can't do anything. You're not falling, because where would you fall to? There's just nothing.
I mean, if we grant your version of nothing, I can't imagine a worse hell. You can't scream, you can't escape, you can't even chuck yourself down a flight of stairs. All there is consciousness, which is bad enough if it was just yours alone, but then we include your consciousness, and death isn't even an option. And we all know you wouldn't shut the fuck up about nothing. And I don't mean the void nothing, I mean, everything you think.
From here, this formless, indescribable perfection decides to do something.
Oh, I thought you said it was nothing, not the concept of whiskey. At least that way it's actually something of true divine power. Also, fuck me if this isn't everything came from nothing. That thing that far too many dumbasses say atheists believe. Shocking that it would be something that you think in a literal way. And I use the term think in the loosest possible sense, obviously.
So it projects a beam of its awareness in one direction, which naturally leads to the creation of 6 spatial directions.
Fuck off. Seriously, as origin stories go, this one is easily the most asinine I think I've ever heard. I mean, you already steal from other religions. Why don't you nick one from the far more exciting stories? This shit is just whack. I mean, come on. Norse mythology has clouds made from literal brains. What's not to love?
Awareness to the front is mirrored to the back, naturally then left and right, and then up and down also come about.
It's like watching someone make up their religion as we watch, and all of it, completely pulled out of his flower of life. I cannot imagine sitting down and writing this shit to be presented as a serious attempt to answer where did the everything come from, and think, yep, this is it, and I shall stake my admittedly poor reputation on it. It's completely fucking ludicrous. I have no idea how he does this without dying from the embarrassment every day.
And doing this creates an octahedron of its own awareness, where relative movement is now possible in relationship to this shape.
Can someone please make baby's first creation myth stop? It's so fucking stupid. It's actually hurting me. Like, of all the questions rattling around in my head, I can't stop thinking, but how? You say it does this and the other, but how does it do that? It's not there. It has no form. It is within nothing. There is no way that it could just have some fucking random shape. Also, I'm seeing a severe lack of circles here. So how any of this is related to the flower of garbage, I dare not even ask.
This is significant because the octahedron is considered relative to the mind.
By fucking who? And if you say some asshole that no one takes seriously, I will make an earnest effort to melt you with my non-existent mind powers. So hard, I'm not sure they won't form, bending the laws of reality to my whim out of sheer bloody-minded spite.
And the Hermeticists would often describe that all is a creation within the mind of God.
Well, if you have a God, then where the hell does this nothing come from? Because if there's a God there, then in a very literal way, there can't be nothing. Unless you are calling God empty-headed when... I mean, it would explain why he's so damn bad at every single thing he tries to do. Especially that whole existing thing. Fucking sucks at that.
So it would make sense that this shape would be instrumental in forming even the first sphere.
Nothing you say makes sense. The fact that you have the ability to say anything at all makes zero sense, considering the catastrophically stupid things you appear to believe. Secondly, no polygonal shape can ever become a circle, or a sphere for that matter, and not a perfect one, as you would claim the flower of life to be. Although it's not a 3D shape, so I have no idea where spheres even come into it.
And that is actually the next step. To spin the octahedron with such intensity that it becomes a perfect sphere.
No, damn it, I jinxed myself. That's not how fucking anything works. Where did you get that idea? The back of a packet of LSD, apparently. No matter how fast an octahedron made of thoughts or whatever, it would never spin so fast it would become a fucking sphere. That is the stupidest thing you have ever said. And with such confidence that if I weren't already drunk, it would push me to drink. And thank non-existent gods, because I've been really looking for an excuse to have another. Cheers. I guess.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the...